She is my beautiful friend. We had a little glitch, but we're here. We're here. So today we're going to talk about how important it is to remember your passions and focus on some self-care by listening to your heart, following your passions, and how important hobbies and things like that are good for your mental health and your just all around, because they help you feel so purposeful. And I just was thinking about hobbies and passions because I'm working so hard right now creating a membership community.
Yeah.
And it's just been so much fun. And so it's kind of been like taking over because it's such a passion of mine to do work on my business. Like I don't know about you, but can you, like, I just jump out of bed in the morning and want to work on my business. That's just like how I am. I always have been like that. And I love working on stuff online, but I also love getting my hands dirty and doing actual crafts and gardening and doing actual stuff, and how amazing that is for your mental health. And remember years ago when we would make stuff, like help each other make stuff, or you were building a gazebo with beautiful curtains. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah, those are fun activities. Like it just feels so good to build something that's your own design, and the final product, you just sit there with, and then you prepare the food, you bake, everything is all homemade, including the gazebo.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's just
Oh,
a
I
feeling,
remember
right?
that.
You feel more alive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was so beautiful. She does amazing woodworking. Like, oh my word. And that table that you made, I never got to see that. Did you take it with you?
Oh, no, not really. But I'm just gonna build my own. But this one I have a different design. But I'll do that another time because, like, I'm like you. When I get up, I go straight to my computer. Like,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, I know. Now I really focus on creating kind of like a morning routine
Routine. Yeah.
that is energizing and also gives me some space to plan my day a little bit, because sometimes I don't have time to plan at night. I kind of have a just like, I go into lounge mode and I don't even want to, I just kind of review what I'm going to do the next day briefly. And then in the morning is when I actually like to plan out what I'm going to do. But I leave that open sometimes where there's space, because space equals creativity to me.
Yes.
And this is so funny that we're just rambling on about this, because I got this email and it said some sort of creative journey thing. And I'm like, oh yes, I want to see what this is. And then they started making, they said, we're going to do journaling, which of course everyone knows, you guys know that's right up my alley. And we're gonna make our own journal. So here I had the computer going and I was like uploading things and I'm following along with this video and I'm trying to fold all this paper and make a journal.
Yeah.
And it was so fun. And I'm like, oh, I've so missed this hands-on stuff. You know?
You can feel it, you can smell it, and then when you can actually feel it and smell it, that's when creativity comes in, right? Like you get more ideas, but then you structure your time as well. Yeah, I do my best as well when I get up in the morning. Like I think we did mention this in our one of our podcasts earlier, that when you get up, at least have some 5 minutes time with yourself before you do anything. And sometimes we forget that, depends on the situation or the deadlines of your project after projects, right? You just didn't make time for that creative space to pause and breathe. And then the fun activities, that's when the fun game comes in, and you get more engaged, and it teaches you about being present, isn't it? Like being present, like being present with that object or that you are creating, like vision boards. I love vision boards. Don't you love vision boards?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
just thinking about that. So strange you said that. I was just thinking about how I love the old, like everyone's like, oh,
the
you can
old
just
way.
make one on Pinterest and tack the
Oh,
pictures together. But I love the old cutting out and
yeah,
getting
from
glue
magazine.
stick and saving magazines and
Yeah.
calendars, cutting them up. Like we're dating ourselves a little bit when we say all this stuff, how much we love it. But it's so true because now, like, good luck finding like a pile of magazines even
Oh
in
yeah.
to cut up.
You have to print it out from the, you have to Google first, then print it out. That's what I
I
do. It's
know,
hard
and
to
then
find
waste all that
magazines.
ink, and I know, but
Yeah,
it is so fun to do.
yeah, it is. And or painting. For me, I love painting. I
Me
haven't
too.
painted in like almost 2 years now since the,
Really? I'm
I
shocked
need
to
to
hear you
get
say
back.
that.
Like, yeah, I need to get back on those kind of paintings. I love humongous canvas because it just makes you feel like the world is so large. Why not explore and keep creating and creating? It's the word creation, like the way you create, heal, and shine, right?
Yeah.
So why not? Because it's healing and it makes you feel like you're shining your light and you keep creating and creating and creating. And it's just nonstop. It feels like this is how supposed to be life is growth, right? You just express it through art. And I've sold my art to galleries before up north in Prince George many years ago. And I was established artist there and I loved it. It heals my soul and my children loves art too. And you kind of encourage your kids as well that, and there's also some fun part if you want to do a mural on the wall. Sometimes you just do finger painting or instead of using the brush. Sometimes I get tired of using the brush. I just like, oh, let me play with my hands, my little
Oh my gosh, I just
fingers.
thought of something so cool that we should do. We
Okay.
should have one of these Zoom sessions. It might probably be about an hour and a half or more, but we
Oh,
could do like a paint along.
oh, that's a
Wouldn't
great
that be
idea.
so fun?
Yeah.
Just something really like
Oh yeah, it's just a small canvas. Maybe all we need
you
is
can
board.
you can guide us through it.
Yeah, why not? I've done art
That would be
workshop
so
online. Yeah.
fun. I've done
Okay.
tons of
Guys,
painting along.
whenever you want to do that, we're just gonna tell them what are the things they need to buy, like a small canvas from a dollar store, and then
Mhm.
let's do maybe finger painting. And the fun part about that, I also attended art battle, and
Art.
that was like,
Oh,
yeah, the art battle. I was one of those one, the first one we did at event art battle in Prince George in group gallery there. We were the first one who participated in the first event in Prince George, and my heart was racing so hard. Like we only have 30 minutes to paint, between 20 to 30 minutes, and I just end up using my finger. But I didn't want, somebody else did because she just did it so gracefully and gently with oil paint. I was like, oil paint. you know
oh wow, that just sounds so
yeah,
fun.
art battle is nice, and the music background behind it makes, and they have this music. It was just make you raise your heart more, and you go like fast, 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 go, go. But you are so focused. Again, it teaches you to be present, right, in such certain way. And I love habits like that, like even like paddle boarding. Sometimes it's a nice calm water. You go paddle boarding. It's another hobby of mine. And then I would paddle there, and sometimes I just want to create my own wave or ripple effect, and I would just go like that, and around the our neighbors around the lake would see me. Oh, she's making a ripple. And sometimes I would just jump off my paddle board and just for fun, right? Like something like
Oh,
that.
that
You
sounds so
create
fun.
your own fun. You create your own joy. It heals your body, and there's a saying that the body heals with play, and the mind heals with laughter, and the spirit heals with joy. So create something fun, joyful, with laughter
Yeah.
around, and
Yeah.
play. Keep playing like that little kid in you needs to.
Okay, I
Okay.
gotta share how I was playing today. Hang on one
Okay.
sec.
Okay. So yeah, if you guys are wanting to know how to
This
feel
is
yourself,
my
play and
how I
laugh,
behave.
enjoy. Oh my gosh. Oh, now
This
I'm hungry.
is
That's not fair.
this is
Ah,
chocolate zucchini cake because I was out in the garden and I had like I have got 26 zucchinis and I thought, okay, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but anyway, so I have that I have two YouTube channels, Buckridge Homestead, which is my personal channel where I
yeah.
share my health journey and my cooking and baking and canning and whatnot. And so I made a video on how to make this cake because this is the cake that my kids grew up on.
Yeah.
This is the cake that I sneak vegetables into, like
Yeah.
zucchini, and they have no clue. And they're like, oh, I love their chocolate cake. It's so good. So anyway, and look at this. Look how good it is. I hope slide off into the screen. Funny part is I was just telling Grace that we need a happy light title today because yesterday I
Oh,
did
why
a
don't we
workshop
ask? Why don't we ask the audience
about what?
the title for this one?
Oh yeah, sure. Yesterday I did my workshop called Life After a Unexpected Life Challenge or Crisis.
Mm,
And it was so wonderful. There was like 12 people there. It was just so good. I
wow.
told my story, but I'd never actually shared that much stuff to a group. And it was quite emotional. And I talked to some friend who attended after, and she said, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel embarrassed that I broke down a little bit. And she's like, no, that's what makes you human. And it was so moving that way. And I was like,
Wow.
okay, good. Cause I felt like, oh no, I don't want to get too emotional about it because usually
Mm,
I did a practice run and I was just fine. But I think with all the people there, it was actually like real. And anyway, so I just thought that last night I had a bath and after I did this, I was just telling Grace, I ran the tub water and I had a hot bath and I brought my book into the tub. Just a book that I'm reading. And I made time for myself and something I love to do because when you've gone through something kind of emotional, it can be very draining. Like when I got off the
yep.
call, I was just totally exhausted and I felt so moved by the women that showed up and were so grateful, and I was
Yeah.
just so grateful to have them there. But then your physical body, it's like you've went through taken a big toll because you've
Yeah.
shared so much trauma.
Yeah.
And so that's where this whole thing came in, because I just thought I've kind of been so tired. I didn't have a very good sleep after that. I had these really vivid dreams. And the crazy thing is that I think because I told that story, I went to bed and I just kind of laid there. And when I finally did fall asleep, I had the most crazy creative dream.
Oh,
And I was dreaming that I was in this like art gallery thing. And you just brought that up today. So it was really bizarre when you said that. And every color wall was a different color. And there was big, beautiful paintings everywhere and these antique kind of cupboards
nice.
everywhere. And I went and talked to some lady and she's like, oh, do you want to work here? And this is my dream. And I'm like, sure. And so, it was like back in the old days and then you said back in Prince Georgia, and I thought that's where I did craft fair after craft fair
Yeah. Yeah.
at the university. And I would always bring these antique cupboards
Yeah.
pull the drawers out and decorate, because I was selling soap and
Wow.
lotions and all that back then, because Grace and I just always loved craft stuff,
Yes, we do.
making anything making, right?
Yeah. Baking,
And
making.
it was like those cabinets were in the dream. And here I am
Mm.
organizing and setting up for this craft fair thing in this gallery. And then I went over to the corner, and this is so bizarre that I'm remembering this because I haven't remembered any dream in so long. And it is just like it's so vivid. I went in the corner and there was this little cabinet and I opened the drawer and here was this little stitchery thing that I made that I sewed with my name on
Yeah.
it, little price tag. Like I
Wow.
even signed it there years before. And I thought, this is it. So you guys are here. This is so strange and just so weird. But anyway, so I got up this morning, and before I got up, like we talked about in the other call, Grace had that awesome idea about just before you get out of bed to just and lay there and not just get up, but just do a little self-reflection or just kind of allow yourself to have a little bit of a meditative state,
Yeah.
of gratitude. And that, so I really took to that when you said that, because I
Oh, good.
lay there and I am like, thank you, heart, for you're still
Oh,
beating, right? I'm
yeah.
awake again, because I
Yeah.
wouldn't even be here right now if it weren't for whose heart I have.
Yeah.
And that was all part of
And
that talk yesterday. And
mm,
so I thought, you know what, how can I give myself love today? So I got up, I grabbed my journal and I wrote out all this dream. And there was a lot more to it than
you
what
did.
and
Oh,
I wrote it all in this journal. And then I went and went in the garden and I picked all the rest and cleaned out the zucchini. And I thought, I'm going to bake today and
aw.
kind of do things for me,
Yeah.
because I just felt so,
Grateful, I guess.
you know, it was so powerful.
Like a release of gratefulness, and the
Yeah.
tension is gone. And I feel
Yeah.
you right now. I feel, yeah.
Us just
I
talking about doing things we love and like my cake and all these, just make
nurturing.
time for yourself
Yeah.
is so important. And I guess that's been on my mind constantly, because I just created a new thing called the September self-care challenge that's
Nice.
inside of the
Yeah.
membership. I'll leave a
Well,
link below this video so you can
yeah.
sign up if you want. It's free right now.
And Angela, it's like your dreams, your vivid dreams, it's just giving me a thought right now, like
Mm,
the pattern of your life and your thoughts. One word, nurture.
nurture.
You love to nurture through creativity, and you expand yourself through people, and and you give that, and you're teaching us, including myself, how to nurture yourself through self-care. Everything is nurturing, how you bake, like all the details, all the ingredients in there, like whatever you want to bake is nurturing yourself. And then your heart too is saying it beats for you, and you just get up in the morning and then you stop, and you say gratitude to your heart again through the word. You nurture your heart through the being gentle with yourself, by giving grace to yourself. Add more little grace in there, and that's through your nurturing, your nurturing personality trait. You have that. It's just so amazing watching you, and I want to cry right now. Just,
Aww.
oh my gosh, like the word nurture just come in my head. Big word, nurture.
Yeah,
You have a
it's
gift of
like
nurturing people. You
I
do.
feel it. I feel like I feel it with the change in the season. I
Yeah.
feel like it with the crispness in the air. I feel the whole fall setting in vibe of
Yeah.
just nurturing. So maybe that'll be our seasonal word. I don't know. But
Well, yeah.
when, as we get into kind of working through the fall towards winter and the holidays start, that's when stress goes up too, right? And
Yeah.
then you feel all, oh, okay, I got to do all this stuff. I got to buy all this stuff. I got to decorate all this stuff. I got to make all this stuff, or I got to mail all this stuff. Whatever all the things are for you that you think of that stress you out with the holidays,
Yeah.
is maybe it's really key right now that you give yourself lots of self nurture so that we can go into that winter
Yeah.
season through the fall season with more of a balanced mind,
Yeah.
good mental state and emotional state. And yeah, I just realized, like, since since my heart and everything, I my grandma used to say this to me. My grandma is amazing, and she would always say, "Ange, listen to your body. What does your
Oh.
body want?"
Mm-hmm.
And for years, all my body wanted was rest, and I
Yeah.
never gave it to it. I
Yeah.
go, go, go,
Yeah,
do
you were.
take care of everybody. I talked about
Yeah.
that last night in the call. Um, just making sure everybody else is okay. The animals are okay, the kids are okay, the lunches are made, the dinner's made, the house is clean, the people are doing their jobs, and everything is good. And didn't matter about me. Didn't
Yeah.
matter if I was run totally ragged.
Yeah.
And since my grandma kept telling me, even before I had my heart transplant, Ange, what is your body saying? I've just taken
Wow.
that on so deeply,
Yeah.
and
I
um,
bet.
just so deeply, and listening. And if you're not quiet enough, you cannot hear it. You
No.
cannot hear the whispers of your mind. You don't hear those soft.
No.
Your intuition is trying to tell you something. It's
Yeah.
trying to slow down, take care of yourself.
Exactly, because in within the stillness, that's where the answer to everything is. But we can't seem to be in that stillness mode, or just go by nature. Like the trees is talking to you. Like go hug a tree, or or plant something in the ground, and just that stillness in that. Because I remember when I had my the lumps in my breast was removed, but before it was removed, I had this. I went through for a walk, and then I heard a whisper from the voice. I call it the voice of truth, and it says to me, Grace, look at the trees. You really want to heal yourself? Look at the trees." And I was like, "Okay, I'm looking at the trees, like literally looking at the trees, you know." And then another whisper was, "Look at below, above and below." And then look at the birds. Look at
Mm,
study eagles. How you want to prolong your life? Study eagles. Study the trees,
mm,
the tree of life. So I start, searching for plants that heals, and searching about how a tree of life, is just the same thing about us. Our body is also a tree of life. So in details, the layers and layers, how that tree grows when you cut the tree, and there's that layers of rings. It's the same thing with ours, like our fingerprint has those kind of rings too, but at the same time it all comes in symbols, and everything is in symbols and patterns. And I start studying those, and how to prolong my life, what things I need to let go, and what are things that makes me feel alive, and joy, the essence of joy. I like to laugh. In the tough times, I always love to add humor, because without humor, you know, it's like a flat line.
yeah.
Everything is a flat line. And I want to feel my heart like beating for me again. I want to feel the goosebumps, like, yeah, I'm living my life, and that creativity of through art, through baking. I used to bake too, like put some decorating in there, and for weddings or for birthdays and stuff like that. Then I stopped doing that. And for me, those were the winter time, I call it, when we don't be align with our souls, with our soul. When we're not aligned with our soul, we're not aligned with our heart. When we're not aligned with our hearts, we're not aligned with our mind and body. And that's where we misalign. That's when illnesses forms in, and that's how I had that lump in my breast. So because I was misaligned with my all my energies inside of me. So yeah. So go back to fun, laughter, joy, creating those, whatever you want to do, bake or something, or jump off your paddleboard, create a ripple effect, man.
Yes,
A
because
ripple
that's
effect.
how you get into alignment, when you're
Yeah.
happy and you're doing those things. If you think about a time when you're just so happy in the moment, you totally can see that you were totally in alignment.
Mm,
You were probably doing something you loved.
Yeah.
You're probably like, if you think about times, and we both love kayaking. If you think about times when we're out there kayaking, how peaceful it is, you're totally in alignment. You're in your element. You're letting everything kind of
Mm-hmm.
flow. You're not having, well, typically you're not having your emotions aren't running wild,
Yeah.
things like that. And in those moments, because alignment's a state, right? Like
Everything
you
is a
can't
state.
stay in it all the
Yeah.
time. You get knocked out of it constantly by the emotions you feel and the perspectives that we carry about everything. But when we're doing stuff we love and we're in the moment, like here I'm like grating zucchini and making this frosting and like drizzling it in my mouth as I'm trying. Oh, this is just heavenly.
Yeah.
Oh, this just feels so good. And I thought, it feels good because I love it and I made
Mhm.
time for it. And I recognize that I need to take care of myself today
Yeah.
and get my energy back to
Yeah.
where it is, but staying in kind of like that calm flow state still today. And it would just felt so nice and peaceful. And before my session or the
Okay.
class that I did, I sat out on the balcony and I had everything completely shut off and quiet. And I just focused on kind of a meditation of with stillness.
Nice.
And the wind was slightly blowing, and I had my legs kind of up on resting, and all I could hear was like the aspen tree leaves
Nice.
like blowing in the wind. You know
Mhm.
that sound
Yeah.
from
Yeah,
up
I do.
there? So beautiful, of just
Yeah.
all the little leaves rustling. And it just was
Yeah.
like, this is what I need to charge up. And then now I'm doing what I need to get recharged with
Yeah.
gentleness. I
Yeah.
think that's a key word. And
Mhm.
doing what my grandma said. What does your body want right now?
Yeah.
What does it want? It wants to be like cozy and have my feet up and
Needs
really
to be cared for. Yeah,
and to
be
be cared
nurtured.
for. So notice what you're noticing and listen. Take the time to listen to what you want. And if it means dropping everything you're doing and getting out your paints and setting it up and just focusing on that,
Yeah.
that's what you need to do, because that's what's going to recharge you,
Yeah.
and give you so many, your creative spark back.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
whatever that is. That's why I'm like, oh, we should have a painting party. Because as soon as you said that, I'm like, oh, I've been thinking of painting for like the last month.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing that when you brought up painting is that just today, as I'm like lounging and waiting for us to do our call, I signed up for this like watercolor,
Mm.
more about watercolors, because
Nice.
I've done a bit of that.
Nice. Yeah.
Bought a whole bunch of watercolor paint books with the
Yeah.
paper stuff, and I really want to get back into that.
Why not? Like whatever that makes you feel joy, always go for that. Because if you don't, you're not recharging yourself. Because if you can't recharge, you don't want to recharge yourself, you keep ignoring. It will get, it will bite you in the butt. You know. Yeah.
Yeah, I talked about those things too, about all the little red flags that are waving.
Yeah. Because it can come into a
Choosing
form of
to ignore them.
tumors. Like for men, it can be a prostate tumor, or a lump going on behind your neck for some men, or on the forehead for, one of my relatives, it was growing on her neck here. It's because it's the stress. And for me, it was my breast, like lumps on my breast, right? So how many more lumps do you want to have? Because you're not listening to your body. And your grandma is right. Like, listen to your body. What does it tell you? Yeah. So
Well,
don't.
the reason it's so powerful that she said that and that I listened to her is
Mhm.
86 years old, and she's
Wow.
jumping out of airplanes and river rafting
I love your mom.
and doing all this crazy stuff at 86, and she's just so joyous. She just went on a cruise. She's
Nice.
jumping or something right now,
Yeah.
and she's just so healthy. And I always say, what's your secret? And she said, I listen
Jump
to,
off the airplane.
yeah, do the things that that you're called to do the things that excite you,
Yeah,
and hang out with people that encourage you and
yeah. That
make
gives you,
you grow.
yeah, that has that spark, and they keep that spark not just a spark, but becomes you now control the temperature of in your life. You want it hot or cold in between, or you're just gonna be just a spark. For me, I'm done spark. I like to maintain my temperature in my life. I want to have a little bit of fire here, or firecrackers. Have some fireworks, Yeah, yeah. So like jumping off the airplane, I did that once on my 31st birthday to face my fear from 10,000 feet high. And it was amazing. And I was thinking of doing it this year or maybe 2 years from now, just to keep that aliveness again. But you can do it a different thing, or go for a nice vacation or something like that. For me, I really like something that makes me feel alive apart from just painting your nails or stuff like that. I
That
just wanna
makes me feel alive. It makes me feel more confident when I look,
confident, yeah.
but
Do
not
something
high.
different.
That, yes, it's not the kind of mental self-care we're talking
No,
about.
no.
The physical
The
part.
physical part that you kind of really feel it, like even baking and do something baking that you've never done before. Do a different recipe, like even if it sounds weird, but you'll never know it tastes so good,
Yeah,
right?
you never know. I love trying new things, or like a new like some kind of more international
Yes,
recipe
please.
of
Yeah,
somewhere that I haven't tried. That is
yeah.
always fun. But then going back to the things that are really comforting, the comfort
Mhm.
recipes that I have saved in my Pinterest for years, like old fashioned recipes and things, they're just like, oh. So it could be all of that.
Yeah. For me, I love because I come from different countries, right? And it's in my blood now to do variety kinds of food. So I always break the tradition of turkey for dinner on Thanksgiving or Christmas. Like, you know what? I miss an Indian food, or I miss African food, or I miss Asian food. So I would break the tradition here in Canada because I cannot bring those here, but I decided to look for those ingredients, and then my kids my kids love it, international cuisine on different occasions. So we would not have turkey we would have it once in a while, but I would introduce different kind of, international food, and I would set the table like really nice. And because for me, it's art. Setting the
That is
table is
that I
art.
love too. I love that whole part of it. That, like you said, that is the more of the creative
Yeah.
aspect too.
Yeah, because I would have like a Filipino food here, and or I would have a
Mm.
Canadian food here, like maybe steak or roasted steak, and then some Filipino dish like spring rolls, and would make my own samosa. Just as
Mm.
an appetizer will be Asian samosa appetizer, and then the main dish will be a Canadian dish I love steak or salmon. So you know me, I love my meat. So
Me
yeah, I would
too.
have my meat in there. Then because the kids wants a break from turkey because it makes you sleep, the enzyme in there. And for dessert, we would have like whatever dessert like the kids would want. Because I would also ask my kids their choice, not always about my choice. So let your kids get engaged in the decision making of your creativity too. That way, it's not a one man show; it's a we instead of a
Yeah,
I.
that.
Right?
It's actually my grandbaby's birthday on the 20th, and she's gonna be 5 and going to kindergarten for the first time. She just started
Awesome.
last week. And it's my birthday on the 29th. So I said, well, let's do a little birthday party together. And I haven't kind of
Nice.
thought of that, but maybe I should do all, like, I just
You do
thought
what you
I
want. Like,
could do,
yeah.
like, okay, I could do steak or something that I love or whatever. And then I could do like
You
shell,
you know what else
she
you could
like her macaroni and cheese for her or whatever.
yeah,
Like,
just add different
what?
flavor in there.
Yeah.
There was also one Christmas when before I got divorced, I hosted in my lake house. I invited my ex-husband's family, but I wanted the older generation to teach the younger generation how to do a traditional way to bake. And everybody has to be engaged and take turns to knead the dough and beat it and beat and beat. And, and some of them have fun and they would take the dough and we like, no, don't do that.
Funny.
It was fun. Everybody, even the little grandkids get in there and start cutting their own sections of the dough, and they call it in their language. Like, cause my ex is they're originally from Finland, so so everybody was
Oh, I know who was there. I know who was there.
yeah, so it
Oh,
was
fun.
amazing. Like, the traditional, you have to pass it on to the kids, which this is what they used to do in the olden days, how to bake without any machines or technology.
Yeah, that is so cool. I love
Yeah.
I love that idea of having people to participate.
Yeah.
Oh, that just gives me so many ideas. But yeah, I felt like getting my hands into like glue and
Hmm.
paper and paint and all sorts of things. And if your body's kind of feeling that, then I feel like it's your mind needs it.
Yeah. Not only, I mean, the whole body, mind, heart, and gut brain connection, right? They all need it. Because it has to be aligned. If you're not aligned, you're just taking care of your heart, but not your mind. You're watching stupid movies. Then the frequency and vibration is feeding your mind with crappy emotions. Then your heart starts getting affected by it. Now you're starting crying for nothing, you know? So and then you wonder why you're like, well, why am I so emotional today? It's because of what you fed your mind. What did you feed
Yeah.
your mind? Or the things that you read, right? Or the people that you invite at home,
Yes, yes.
right?
I read this really neat analogy about what you're just saying about the frequency of is your vibration and your
Yeah.
frequency can be no can be it's easier to think of it if you think of a radio, getting in
Yeah.
the car and listening to a radio. Are you going to leave it on static or are you going to change the channel?
Right?
And
Yeah.
this, or if there's a channel that's awful, like the movie you're talking about, or that's what you're feeding yourself.
Yeah,
So you
exactly.
have to to get more realigned, you've got to change the tuner to the channel
Yeah.
that aligns with is on the frequency that you want to
It's,
feel,
exactly. Because everything is
that puts you
frequency.
in alignment.
Exactly. Everything is frequency, and even when it comes to flying, the airplane has to be in the right frequency coordination in order to talk to another radio here and there, and or else if you're not in the right coordination, you're going the wrong path yeah, it causes accidents. Yeah, and it causes illness in your body, like you said, right? So
Yeah. Yes, it's critical to pay attention to what your intuition is telling you and
yeah,
don't brush it off and don't let anybody tell you otherwise because in your own soul you know if something's not right. And
exactly. Yeah. So my questions to you, my dear audience, what are the creative things that makes you be creative and it heals your body and shines your light? Create, heal, and shine, right? And your journey as well. Like yeah. What kind of journey are you creating? Like, are you moving forward, or are you just keep replaying this in the same scenario, the same movie 75 times for 75 years? That's really, really a sad story. So, yeah, it's up to you to create your own, joy, laughter, and peace.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what is it for you? Is it paint? Is it the garden?
Mhm.
Rolling out dough? Is it, cooking some ethnic meal? Is it
Yeah.
cutting up paper or making something? It could be so many things. Maybe it's like getting out glue and maybe it's wood
Or face painting.
or face painting. There's
Yeah.
just so many things.
Yeah.
And what is your body screaming at you and your mind telling you to
I like that.
do, because it'll make you feel better. Don't ignore it, because if something's on your mind and you feel that creative spark, it's
Yeah.
because you mentally need that
Yeah.
focus time onto something else to get recharged, you know, to fill up the cup, to fill the well, so that
Exactly.
you can keep going. So make yourself a priority this week. That's my request to you, is whatever it is, maybe it's just meditating.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Simple as that.
to do, and just make some time to recharge and do something creative for you.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, I'm going to the park with a friend, and we're going to have lunch, and this guy's coming with me, and we're going to go on a walk around the river. So that's my little recharge
Mm.
day. I don't know, he always stretches into these funny, he looks like it looks like a flying bat,
Yeah, I know.
and he sticks
Like a
out
little rat.
like that. Like he goes, when you hold him, he goes all
Okay,
stiff.
don't hold them too high.
Hello.
I love it. All right. So yeah, like we said, life is screaming for your significance. So life is too beautiful, so why not make it significant? Do some significant things in your life. It's your turn, guys. It's your turn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Until next time, do something beautiful for yourself.
Mhm.
Bye.